This week we have been thinking about plants and animals of the seashore. We have visited Atlantic horseshoe crabs at the shore and in the lab, where scientists study these and many creatures. Some people study plants and animals for their whole lives, and keeping a nature journal is a great way to begin with such curiosity. Let's talk about ours now.
Hello, second and third grade wild writers of Mamaroneck. We've gotten to visit the seashore a few times together this week. We've learned about animal adaptations, about how some sea creatures stick to things, some plants like bladderwrack can float. We learned about the Atlantic horseshoe crab and its parts and how it molts and all different things about that creature. We've thought about things that we've seen when we've been at the seashore. And even though we may not have been able to visit the seashore this week, we've been writing about it in our nature journals. I wanted to share with you what I did. I did go back and add color to my pages. And if you recall, I wrote, if I could not be me, I might be a moon snail. And I wrote all about what I thought that might be like. And I had a little space at the end where I thought I'd write more about that. But instead, I decided to pretend I was a moon snail and think about if a moon snail would want to be me. So I have the moon snail here in a big speech bubble. And I wrote, if I were a human, I would like to be big and walk around. I would be grateful not to worry about seagulls or crabs as threats, but I would miss my shell. I cannot imagine not having a spirally home to carry around all the time. I would long for the slap of the waves on the shore. I would try the trade for a day, but not for long. No, indeed. So, as I wrote about this, I kind of realized I'd rather be me than a moon snail, and maybe a moon snail would rather be a moon snail than me. I did a little more work in my journal too. You saw the pages where I wrote, I added color. And I wrote some more as well. I had some questions here. I asked about the barnacles. How long do they live? I wondered about the bladderwrack, what the seeds are like, because they must have seeds. Where do seagulls lay their eggs? So I did put some curious questions around my drawings. And this is a regular thing I've been doing in my nature journal all along. Then I did another double page spread here on seashore memories. And I made a list of memories I have at the seashore through many times in my life. I'm a lot older than you, so I've been to the shore a bunch of times. And these are just all mixed up, but I began each one with I remember. And that can be a helpful way to get new memories coming, is just say, I remember, and then think of something. So these are the seashore memories I remember right now. I remember digging and finding a ring. I remember making sandcastles. I remember sand feeling so hot on my feet that I ran tiptoe. I remember getting pulled out to the ocean and my dad saving me. That is my scariest memory ever. I remember watching the wild horses of Assateague galloping along right where water meets land. I remember sitting on a towel and having lunch with my family. I remember being very slow going in, letting the cold creep up my skin bit by bit. I remember floating on my tummy, riding waves to shore. I remember looking for tiny bits of sea glass, especially blue. I remember holding sand in my hand and looking at all of the different colors that make it. I remember looking in tide pools for sea stars. I remember learning about horseshoe crabs at Plum Beach from Hope in the summer of 2019. I remember watching piping plovers run along the shore. I remember seeing seals look at me with their big round eyes from the shore of Anholt, an island in Denmark that is shaped like a bird. I remember the squishy wet sand feeling. So any one of these memories, I could turn to the next page and write more about it. And even though I didn't really go to the shore this week, in my mind I did, and in my heart I did, and on those video clips I did, and through my drawing, I also got to visit the seashore. So even when there are places we can't be in real person life, we can, through writing and through drawing, visit them a different way. So I wish you continued enjoyment in your nature journal. Remember that anything you have done before in your nature journal, you can continue to do. Next week is the last week we meet, but do remember everything we try here, you can do forever, your whole life. Nature journalists try all kinds of things, and the favorite things we like, we come back to.
I wish you lots of fun in your nature journals this week. drawing, labeling, wondering, thinking, remembering, pondering, and dreaming. For no matter whether we are young or we've been around for a long time, life is full of adventure. Seashore or forest, park or yard, right wild, right wild, right wild.